Okay, so we are going to now look at checking accounts, and there's some terms you need to be familiar with. Deposit is how much money you put in, how you can do it. You guys are probably going to deposit your checks via your phone. You can put an envelope with a deposit slip and send it in if you prefer. Balance is how much money you have in the account. The deficit is if you've gone under zero. The surplus is how much above zero you are. Interest is money you're accruing just for having it in the bank. Usually it's pretty low, 3-4%. Overdraft means if you go over zero. Do you have overdraft? Are you protected? I have a credit card, for example, that it would just go to a credit card payment so they don't have to pay any fee under zero if you and I don't bounce a check. ATM means I can have a card and go to a bank and get the money. There are bank fees associated with $2 to $3. So I have a credit union, which means I can go anywhere in the country, actually anywhere in the world, and get up to 10 withdrawals for free. Some banks have it so that you have to go to their bank, and it's free, and you go elsewhere and it costs. Okay, so which of these is true? Most of them are. Let's go through them. When you put your money in the bank, you're making a deposit. True. When you write a check, the bank takes money from your checking account and pays the person the name on the check. True. The bank helps you keep track of your checks and deposits by emailing you your bank statement once a month. Yes, and you can go on your online bank account website anytime, log in, and see how much you have. Checks are better to use than cash because you could stop payment, for example, even if you've written a check that does cost you, but it's better than losing the whole amount in cash. You don't have to put money in the bank before writing a check. You absolutely do have to put it in there. Matter of fact, some banks require that you keep a minimum in there. That's for their benefit because they want to make money off of you by loaning your money out to others. But that you don't have to go with that bank. It's a good idea to mail your bills in cash instead of a check. You cannot send cash through the mail. After writing a check, the money is left in your account as your balance. Correct. A canceled check is a blank check. No, canceled check is one that you've already deposited. You sent the check to someone, they deposited it, and it's returned to you, or at least the facsimile you get online. That's a canceled check. However, you now can scan a check that you get from someone using your phone, so that check will never have canceled written on it, but you can't scan it again because they wouldn't accept the number twice on the front or the back. A debit card does affect your checking account because it's withdrawing it down, so that last one is incorrect. All right, when you get a bank, you're going to have to fill in some paperwork. Bank account. I, for example, have a joint account with my wife. You would have individual ones, or maybe joint with your parents. This is something you may or may not use. The deposit slip, you would write the checks on the back, the check number and the amount. Or, as I said, you can use your phone and just scan the front and the back and deposit it instantly. And you can do that on the weekend. The money's credited to you instantly, which is kind of nice if you need the money right away. Okay, a couple quick problems that are fair game for midterm or final. I want you to stop this, and when you figure out the answer, you can go on. So $178.16 and 36 of two things you're depositing. You get $20 cash back. How much is your total deposit? Stop video. I assume you've now figured it out, and there's your total. Okay, so do this problem and stop it. I actually didn't even put the number on the back side. I assume you can figure this out. When you write a check, you need to, all people put their names there. You can decide, do you want a fancy check that usually costs money? You can do what I do, which is just the cheapest one, which is free. Look here, it's $1,000 and means the period, the decimal point, and you don't write cents there because the cents is 0, 0, and 100. So when we go here, see if you can remember how to do it. The memo, though, often you want to put that in there. That's so you can remember what it's for. So if you can't remember where all the numbers are, go back. So the question is, if you're going to write 73 period 78, which of the answers is it? Stop it. Okay, let's assume you figured it out. It's C, $73, and is the represents the period, and since you have 78 over 100, you don't need the cents. So how do you write this one? You should be able to figure that out again, write it like C. Okay, so where would you put the money? You got to figure that out. So stop it. Okay, now come in again. The date obviously 62.49. They like to have it twice, and if these two things are different, they won't cash it. So $62.49/100. Pay the order and then sign it. And of course, you can't see the memo side there, but it's in the left. Okay, it used to be everybody kept a registry. Probably definitely your grandparents did. Maybe your parents do now, but more often than not, people just make sure that they don't go under zero. They go online if they know they're close. They know roughly how many checks they've sent out. However, we're going to do a couple exercises to make sure you're keeping track of it. Payment or debit is a negative and deposit is a plus. And the balance is the total you have going. You can see you get monthly fees, for example, which you have to pay your bank, and ATMs you're going to have to pay your bank, and of course interest is not on this slide. So previous check registry says 50862, you make a deposit and you write a check, so it's plus and minus, and you want to go through these exercises. And then you get a statement each month, and you're going to get the check numbers, and you're going to go through here. You definitely want to go through the bank statement. If nothing else, you want to make sure that nothing is amiss, especially if you're traveling, especially overseas, because you want to make sure that no one has taken your credit, your, say, credit card and done anything and started, or debit card, I should say, for a bank, and started withdrawing money that you don't know about. So actually what happens when you write a check, you can read the steps, but you're going to go to a regional bank. We have the Federal Reserve, has 12 regional banks in the country, and then the money is going to go to the check writer's bank, and then it's deducted from your account. This is done, in fractions of seconds, very quickly. Okay, so bank reconciliation is making sure what you have in the bank is equal to what you have in your checkbook. Again, this is a very good idea to do, but most people don't do it anymore because you have, I don't want to say it's instantaneous online, because it's not, because if you've written a check and they haven't deposited it, well, you may think you have the money, you don't. So at the very least, if you don't reconcile your bank account, you want to make sure that you have the check. You know how many checks you've put in there. So here's the outstanding check, meaning you've written the check, so they're minus. You can see the minus, deposit plus, bank statement of interest plus, service charge minus, and so you can see you'd have to reconcile, because your bank statement would say this, but your checkbook would say this, because you're in different places, and you want to get to the same amount. Okay, so you do the math and figure out, and this is fair game again for the midterm. The bank statement starts with this. Your check registry at home, the one you're doing on paper, starts with this. Deposit in transit means you've taken it off your check registry, but the bank doesn't reflect yet. Outstanding checks. Outstanding checks, meaning you've taken them off the check registry, but they aren't reflected in the bank statement, hence it's more, because they haven't gotten it yet. Service fee is not reflected on your bank registry until you find out about the end of the month, but it is in the bank statement. And interest is not reflected on yours, but is in the bank statement. So you need to be able to reconcile and get the same amounts on both, and the question on the test will be, what is that amount? In that case, it's 363.50. Okay, so do this. Try to figure this one out, stop it, and then go on. There's the answer. Do this one, stop it, and then go on. Do this, stop it, and then go on. And that's it.